Hello there guys. Now in this video we are going to be looking at the product list.view. Last time we were able to do the add product component, and in today's tutorial we're going to look at the product list, whereby we are now able to display products after we have added them within our Laravel and Vue.js e-commerce. Now this is our login page, and then I've just remembered from, so in the add product here, uh actually I forgot about the CSS. That's what I meant, the CSS. So here, before even we add the CSS, you can see when I try to add, so here we have the error messages. I think I forgot to say about this, but you already understand this, so there's nothing to talk about here. So let's go to the style, and here what I need to do here, I need to have this. So I need to have style. This style is going to be scooped like this, and then here I already have the code which I've already copied from the project itself. So here I'm just going to paste it here, and you can see they all have references. For example, the error messages are going to have the color of red, and you can see from here we have the error messages. So we have the error messages, of course, and then we have what am I looking for? I'm looking for, okay, the class, this one here. So the class is this one, which is error, and of course with classes in CSS we use the dot, and then we give the style in there. The same case for add product should be this one here. It's the same thing that we have here. So I'm giving it a max width of 400 pixels, a margin of 20 pixels, auto padding, background, border radius, and so forth. We go for the input field, which should also be somewhere here, and we also do the same, and the rest for submit button, submit over, and so forth. So when I save this, it is going to run again, and here we are going now to have something like this. So if I try to input anything that is not required, we are going to have this error message. Now I'm seeing this one, price is required, must be a number. This should be product. The error message should come here. Let's see what's happening. So here we have product description. I think we missed on the, so here is product description. So the errors description, let me just check. Actually, when you look at it, I can see we have errors description and errors description, and here this is errors.price. So actually what I'm seeing here, let's change this to errors.price so that this one remains errors.description. And let's see again if we try to, okay, so now this is working. All right guys, so that was on the add product. So now let's continue to the product list, because we already have added, actually from our postman here, I already added the product. So let's now go to the product list as we wait for our postman to start. Okay, so on the product list here, because I already made these components, which are already, so this is the product list.view. So here we're now going to begin with this one here. You can see from our postman here as it starts. Okay, now it is ready. So when you go to the get and then API/products, we're able to see all the products that we have within our API. So 200, okay. So here you can see these are the products that we already have within our Laravel backend that is within our database. So how can we now display all these products so that we are able to see them on Vue component? So that's what you're going to be looking at today. Now today I just want us to take this tutorial in a different way from the usual. In other words, in terms of my explanation. So basically we normally start with the template here, which is this way. Now I want to give you a kind of an analogy, so for you to understand well what we mean by template and whatever we are going to add within this particular views. That is the format of the view. That is the template, the script, and the styling. Now think of your template like a shelf that you want to display a toy of cars. So here this could be something like so here could be something like what? So here I'm trying to get. So here we have So this is a shelf, and then this shelf you want to display uh, trackers. So don't worry about this. This is just for the guys who may want to understand this in a way that is this way. So guys who just want to understand it in a deeper way. So that's why. So this is a shelf, and this shelf you want to display your trackers. So template becomes something of that sort within our view. It's just a template that you want to store something. So we are going to start with the first item, which is the product list container. And then I'm going to be giving you that analogy for you to understand better, just like we have started with template. So here I'm going to have div class. And then this class you're going to have, okay, so here we're going to have product and then product list. So this is for CSS. And then here down there we are going to have, now within this div class product list, we're going to have, now remember we have said that template is just a shelf that you want to display the trackers. So within this div class here, you're going to have what we call an ordered list. Then inside the unordered list, actually within the unordered list, here you can have the unordered list as the shelf itself, that of course you want to display the trackers. So because you want to display the trackers, and assuming these trackers are already you want to get them of course from a database so that you can display them within your template. Here we're going to have something called an li. So an li, of course, it goes with an order list if you have done HTML CSS. So here the li, which is list item, so product item for CSS styling. And then here we're going to have something within Vue we call v4 if you have added, but I'm going to explain it if it's your first time hearing it. So here we have product in products, like that, and then here we have so here we have key, and then down inside it we have product.id, and then we close this like that. So what I mean here is that products in product. So here we are using a v4. So why the v4? So the v4 here is to look within our product array, because you're going to have a product array whereby it is going to loop that those products, and then those products are going to be presented to us. Because remember, here within our postman here, this is now the array, because this is now returned in terms of JSON format. So we are going to loop within these products, and then we are going, for example, to get the name, to get the description, and to get the price that is going to be presented within our. So we are going to have another route here, that is the product list. So I believe you get the idea there. So basically we are now looping. Now in terms of the analogy of the shelf with the toy cars, what we are doing here, we are using the v4 to in other words, you are simply saying for every toy car that we have within the toy box, we want to give it a spot on the shelf. So these products could be the toy cars that are presented here, and then for every toy car that we know we are getting within that particular shelf, we want to place it somewhere on this particular shelf within our shelf, that is. And in this case, for us to do that, we're going to use the product so that we can now place these toy cars within our shelf. So so let's go to the displaying part. So here I'm going to have a span, then here I'm going to have a class which is equals to product. So product name, like this, and then I close that span. Now inside this span, I'm going to have these two curly braces, and I believe you understand now what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take product.name, like that, and then the product.name. Now within our shelf here, we have looked over the products, and then within the products array here, we are now able to pick a single product, and then we are now able to place it somewhere. So in the same case with the toy cars, we are looping over the toy cars, and then we are able now to take each and every toy car and place it on our shelf here. And now here we want now to display them. Of course, now we want to show them out. So that's why we are now calling, for example, the product.name. In this case, we are now calling shoes because, of course, the product with the ID of 1. However, I'm going to show you how we are also going to reference the ID. Actually, there's something I forgot here, whereby we have this key product.id. What we mean there is that every product here, we're going to give it an ID. You can see within our a JSON format that is within our Laravel API, within our API here, you can see every product has an ID so that it can be unique. The same case within our toy cars, within this shelf, we give them a sticker number. So it's like we are taking the a toy car, we place it on the shelf. In a particular, every shelf we have a toy car, and then within that shelf we are giving that toy car a sticker number. So that sticker number is basically the ID, which is also here. So every product with this ID. So that's what. So we loop over the products, and then of course we match that product with its ID. So I believe that is understandable. So next here we have is you're going to have a div, and then this I'm going to give it a CSS. So here we're going to have action links like this, and then here I close this. Now once you have the action links here, what you want to do is we want to give this actually there's something here, there's a code here we're going to add later, because within each product you're going to have something like edit that product as well as show the detail of that product. So this we are going to add them later, actually when we'll now be going to the edit product view, so that when we click we are now taken to this particular component here whereby we can edit the product. So that's why the action links are there. But in this case, because this product list is just about showing the products, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go direct into what we call the button. Actually, we're just going to the button, and then this button it is going to have a class, and this class I'm going to give it is like this, and then I'm going to give it a method which is at click within our view, then delete product like this, and then here I'm going to have this. So here actually I believe if you are following enough, you're able to get now what is actually happening here. So here what I need to do, I just need to delete the product here. So what I'm doing here is I've just defined a button with the delete, which is for CSS, and then at click, this one is now a method which you're going to define it within our script, whereby when any person, a user clicks the button delete, this particular method is going to be called within our methods within the script, and then it's going to identify the ID of that given product here, and then that product is going to be deleted. So basically that's what we have. Actually, that's what we need to do. Now, based on our analogy here, we can have button, for example, like a magic button within our toy cars, whereby when you press it, the toy car disappears, or in other words, it gets deleted from our shelf, because remember the template is the shelf. So guys, so that is what we have. Then here I'll need to have this. Actually, all this is represented by the li, so you're going to have that li, and then I think I might have forgotten something here. So here I need to remove this, and that should be. Now the issue you are seeing this red line is because we need now to have that method created. So because it is actually what is happening with the click is that it is now binding the click event with the delete product method, because this is a method that you're going to define within the script. So let's come here, and then here we're going to have our script like that, and then here we're going to do several items here. The first one is just to import the Axios. So import Axios, then add the Axios like this. Now so the Axios is going to be discoverable once we get to call it, when we now want to identify the products within Laravel backend. So export default like that. And then here we're going to have, now here the first thing you're going to have is what we call the component data. We're going to have there. And then here, I think I've now explained to you what data is doing. So here we need to have return like this. And then within the return here, we're going to define this products like this. And then what we're going to have we're going to define it as empty, so that we can now what we are just setting this one to be, we're initializing this one to be a product, to be, that is the product to be empty array, so that now once we get to call our API, it's able to fill up this particular empty array of, that is within this particular products variable that we have defined here. So in this case, within our analogy here, because I want you to understand better, shelf and the toy cars is that, for example, our products here could be now the toy box. So this toy box here, so here we could have this as a toy box. So this toy box right now, it is going to be empty, and it stands for this, of course. So let me just have it here. So this toy box is empty, and we want to fill it up with toy cars. So we want to fill it up with toy cars. So that's basically the understanding here. That's why we are now leaving it empty, because now we want to call the API and then fill up once we get to get all these products here, and then we come and fill them within this product array. Now, so once that is done, now down here we're going to define the methods, and one of the methods we're going to define here is, you remember we call this this at click then delete product. So this method we have to call it when we want to delete a particular product. So here I need to use what we call a sync. So here we have delete product, which is that one there. And then here I'm going, remember, for us to delete a product, you only have to delete it through the ID, because the ID is unique. So here within our analogy, here what we have is that it's like now we are telling our, now assume here we have something we call magic remote here. So what is magic remote? Magic remote here stands for an API, because here remember we are dealing with API, and this is what we are dealing with. So here we have a magic remote, and this remote, what is going to do is going to remove a specific toy car from our toy box. From our toy box, we are going to remove a specific car, and then if the car is removed, it is going to disappear from the shelf. And remember, we say the template is just the shelf, which is now holding all the toy cars for us. So basically that's the understanding in there. So so here I'm going to have a try, and then the try here is going to actually do something here. So here we're going to make a delete request to the API. That's what we mean here. So here we're going to have the await and then Axios here. Now you can see Axios here now starts, it's now discoverable. This can be discovered in short. So here we're going to have Axios.delete, and then here we're going to have this. Actually, we need to have it this way. We need to use what we call the backticks. So products, and then products slash, we're going to use this $sign here. That is to reference the ID, of course, because remember we want to delete the ID. Now, somebody could be asking about why could I not have called the URL? Remember, this is our Laravel. So I could have simply come and copied this one like this and then pasted here. Actually, it will still work like this because remember this is the API that we are going for. But remember here I already spoke about this in some other tutorials. So if you might be new to this video here, you may want to go and check that out. Remember within our axios.js here, we have given this as base URL because we're going to be repeating this URL within our component. So we just need to have it here. And then here, we just get to call just the slash products, and that's all. So once I save that one, now once we do the delete, what is going to happen here, we want to check, that is, if the request is successful, then we are going to delete the product and filter out that product from the products array. So from the products array, we call this method to delete that particular product, which should be maybe this one here. And then once that is done, we are going to have this particular line of code which is going to do this. So we're going to have this dot products, and then here we're going to say it's equals to this dot products, and then going to call the filter. Filter, remember, is a JavaScript function, which of course it is used to filter any given product from an array. So here we are going to have product, and then here we have product.id, and here is not equal to id like this. Now let me explain this because some could not have understood what I mean here. Now once we make the delete request to the API and we make that request, remember async works with, it's like you are calling something and then you are waiting. So async is just a call, and then the wait, of course, is you're just waiting. For example, you're making that call and then you're waiting for the person to respond. So basically what we have here is that once that product has been deleted, actually once the ID has been established, what is going to happen here is that we are going to call this variable, which is products, within our array, and then here we are going to delete that particular product with the given ID, if it's a product with the ID 1, for example. And then once we get to delete that product here, now this statement which says product.id is not equal to ID, this simply means that once the product has been, we identify the correct product within our products array. If it is the product with number 1, it gets deleted. Now if that product doesn't have an ID of 1, then that means we don't delete that product. That's what this line of code means here. If that product is not equal to 1, then don't delete that product, because we only want to delete a product with the specified ID. In our analogy here, we are simply mean if the toy car with a particular sticker number is not 5, for example, or is not 1, then we're going to keep it. But if it has the ID of 1 or 5, then that product is going to be left out. It's not going to be deleted. That's the whole understanding there. Now let me finish up this. So here, once we get to delete this, now the next part here is just, which is very important, is to enable us to catch any error that we get. So here we have console error, and then here we have this. So here we're going to say something like an error card. So an error card, we're deleting the product, and then here we can have those two, then call that error so that we can get the error if it is thrown to us. And then now those are the two parts. So that is on the delete part here. Let me put that comma there so that you can now give another method here just below this one here. So here I'm going to have another async. This async is going to be async created, and I'm just going to explain in a second what we mean by async created. Now async created, this one means that here we want to call a live. So async created is within our view. These ones, they are called lifecycle hooks, and they are very important actually within any front-end framework. So this lifecycle hook is going to be called after an instance an instance has been created, and this instance means that once we get to call the API and we get a response, so that we can now display all these products within our browser. So basically what we mean here is that it's just like when you turn on your magic remote, that is within this analogy, and then as soon as you switch on the magic remote, then the toy store, actually here we have a toy store, because remember this magic remote it's an API which is making a request to a Laravel backend. So the Laravel backend is going to respond back, and then it is going to respond back with all the toys that we need to fill up within our toy box. So hope is not confusing in any way, because here remember the products array here is just the toy box, which is empty, but we need to fill it up with toy cars. So what is happening here, this lifecycle hook within our view is going to, it's like now we are just turning on the toy car button, so that it can go to the toy store and get the list of toy cars that are there, and these are the toy cars you can see here, so that they can now be filled up within our products array here. I believe this one makes more sense when I explain it that way, without using the programming terminologies. So I believe that one makes sense. So once we have the async created, I believe you know what I need to do next. So here I need to have a try catch, of course, to catch any error, and then here I'm going to have a const response like this, and then this one equals to await, and then axios dot get, then here we have slash products like this, and then here, so here now once the component has been created, we now want to fetch the products from the API. So that's what we mean here. We want to fetch the products from the API, because now we are calling the get, so that we can now get this product. Remember the same thing we are doing here, we are getting these products using this way. So that's the same thing we are doing here. And then so once we get those products, we need to have some other lines of codes which are going to, for example, we're going to have this dot products, which is going to be response this products, of course, once we get the products. And then these products are going to be now, in other words, once we get the products, what we're going to do here, we're going to update the products array, which is this one here. Remember the data, the component data, which is returning the products array. So we are going to return the products array with the data from the API. So in other words, we are going to fill up this toy box with the toy cars that we have gotten from the toy store here. So that's basically what we mean there. And then of course, because we're using the try catch, we need to have the catch here. So basically here I close this one, and then we have catch like this. And then so we have this. So the error here, we're going to console if we get any error, that is, for example, let's say the API is not working, or there's something that did not go well. So here we can have an error occurred. Let me just copy this. So an error occurred while fetching the products, and then we have this colon, and then here we have the error like this. So that's what we have there. And then here I need to close. Actually guys, we are now done with this. I don't know why I have too many. Should only be having three. Should only be having three of them. So we need to close this one like this. Let me save and see. Okay, so so I believe that's fine. So in case we get any errors, we shall be able to correct them and see what is happening. Okay, so that is what we have there. So now let's go and try out and let's see if we are able to get these products from this particular API. Then a Laravel. Actually, here we need to have an extra one here because I've just remembered, because we have this one here. You have this one closing this one, and then we have this one for this part here, and then this method which is closing here. So we don't need to have another one there. We only need to have 3 of them. Okay, so now let's go to, actually before we do that, why am I forgetting? Now we need to go to router.js. Within the router.js, we're going to add something here. So we're going to add our router here. So this is what you're going to have. So let me do it somewhere here. So here I'm going to copy this and then paste it like this. So here what I'm going to do is add the product list within our, so the product lists like this. Remember here we had the add product. So the product list, and then here we're going to have the component name, which is product list, because this is what we have here. And then the component, actually the name is just like a nickname. Actually, name just stands for nickname that we can give, but in this case, this is now the component name, which is product list. And then here, just like we set this one on false, we're going to set it on false so that we don't. So actually, this should be mark this as private. The same case, I think I forgot to. These ones we mark them as private because you don't want them to be accessed by any person. That's why they are private. That's why it's public is false. These ones are going to be true when the person is not logged in. So we're going to have this one like this, and then now here we come back to Navbar. So we need to go to Navbar. Now within the Navbar here, I'm going to copy one of this, and then I'm going to copy and paste. So here we remember we gave this one as the path here is slash. So here we're going to have slash like that. So that is the path. So when the person adds the product, is going to navigate to the product list. So here we're going to have a product list like that. And here we're going to have it as remember is logged in, is going to be left in that way. If it's not logged in, then it's going to be shown this. But if it's logged in, this is what it's going to get. All right, so that is what we have there. Is there anything else that is remaining? Yes, there's something remaining here. We need to import this component to our router. So here I'm going to remove this. Sorry. Then here we're going to have a product list. Sorry, we're also going to change this to product list like this. So you're going to have that this way. Let's see what we get. So we do have an error of module cannot resolve Axios in source components. Okay, so let's check this. So within our product list here, we have the Axios, and then here we are able to call the Axios. Okay, so here we forgot this. So it's unable to find this. So it is at and then slash, so that you can see now it is able to see where it is. So do you have any other error? Okay, so our product list is this one here. Okay, so you can see now it is able to pick all the products within our API, which of course these are the products that we have here. Now there's some styling, so let me just add that styling quickly. So this is the styling that I have for this part here, so let me not forget it. So styling script, and then here we're going to have this is the styling. So 0 references. Now this 0 references, this means that we are going to add an edit route here, an edit remember where we defined here. So here there's some code that is waiting for us here, because here, for example, we're going to add the route that will take us to edit the product and also product details. Because remember, this one is just now the show. This is not the show For example, in Laravel, we call it the show blade. So basically, this is now the show component, of course, in Vue. So we're going to add that one as we do now the next one, which is edit product. So we have reference there for product lists because it is this one here. And then we also have product item. Remember, I defined that product action link. We also have a reference, but for the edit, and then delete button over. So when you want to over, and then the delete button here. So just to recap this product list component, remember here we are binding this at click product with as a method, so that once we get to click, it is called here. It's called here and sync, and then once that async, that is the calling, because async is all about calling, and then we identify the product with the ID. If that product is identified here, for example, if it is product with the ID of 1, then it's going to be deleted based on if that product has the correct ID. So if it has the correct ID, we filter out that product from our products array, and then if that product doesn't have the given specified ID, we don't delete that product. In other words, we keep it through this line of code here. Actually, we should test that before we do anything else. So let's try to delete bread. Okay, so bread has gone. So that is working. Actually, let me save this, and let's so I've just saved this. Okay, so that is working. Okay guys, so that is it. So when you over, so we are about to delete mouse, and let's check if we find any error. So within our console, so everything is working here. Okay guys, so let's meet in the next video, whereby we'll finish up now with the product, with the edit and the product details, and we should be done with our Laravel Vue.js e-commerce project. So subscribe to this channel, comment, share this video. Don't just watch and go. Please subscribe for these in-depth tutorials, whereby I get to explain this to tutorials in an in-depth manner, so that you're able to understand some of these challenging concepts.